Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm Adrian Darren. Of course, I'm joined by Suncast, as I'm each and every week. How you doing, John?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
It's almost Christmas time. I know you love Christmas.
It is. Should I get dressed up? I got my stuff right over here. I can get dressed up.
No, not yet.
No?
No.
You want me to say that for next week?
Save that for next week.
I feel cheated that you're not dressed up.
Suncast, can you tell this other person that I'm not speaking to him?
I don't hear another person.
Can you tell John Prosser of Front Page
you don't
Tech
hear another person.
that
Thanks.
we are no longer best friends? We are no longer friends, and I'm no longer speaking to him?
Yeah,
Andrew,
I mean,
The nerve
You're
of this
still
guy.
my
You know what
best
he did,
friend.
right? You know what he did?
yeah, I know what he
He
did.
pulled a
that
big
little
wig move on me. I'm not going to curse. I was very upset. I was supposed to meet him in New York City, Manhattan. I made reservations for us. I made
did
plans
not.
for us. We had a whole thing. We were going to go down to the 21 Club where Donald Trump has been having dinner. We were going to go and meet a couple people, some important people. We're going to go and he was going to meet from.
Was the Donald there?
You were going to meet some very important people for drinks from a company that rhymes with Minet. And he no-showed me.
I wonder what that is.
He no-showed me. He was going to make a lot of important friends. Somebody from the company that rhymes with Mahu.
I was with somebody from the company Mahu.
Yeah, and he no-showed me. So, you know what? No connections for you. I'm
Good
taking
news,
it away.
Andrew. I might be living near you, and you can hang out with me every day.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. How are you, John?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was your trip to New York? Did you talk about why you came
was
to
great.
New York, or?
I cannot talk
Okay.
about it, but I mean, I can say that I was in New York. I posted pictures about it, but I can't say why.
You got a sales job at Best Buy, correct?
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was
yeah
it.
that's why you're here. Guys, we have a lot to talk
I
about.
can see that happening.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. Obviously, a lot of stuff happening in technology. We're at the end of 2016, and boy, what a year it has been. I think next week, if it is our last show of the year, we should do a recap also of all
I
the
agree.
things that happened, because this year was a very interesting year. A lot of the pivotal things that defined 2015, the momentum kind of shifted away from it. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff to talk about. You know, Windows 10 anniversary update was a big story. Samsung's gigantic debacle, which we're going to go into right now, part of that story. And of course, Apple having a lot of criticism over their MacBook Pro release, the latest MacBook Pro. Obviously, all that we're going to save it for next week for our year-end show. But before, let's go into Samsung, because this is very interesting. You know, the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 was an utter disaster for the company. It has cost them billions, estimated billions, because they had to recall it, and now they don't have a replacement for it. You know, a lot of people compare this to the Microsoft Xbox 360 recall, the issue that they had with the Red Ring of Death. But luckily for Microsoft, they were able to take those products that they were getting back to them and send out new ones. Sometimes you have to send it back a couple times, but it didn't completely take the Xbox off the market. This has 100% taken all Note 7s off the market, and Samsung announced that they will be disabling the remainder of the U.S. Note 7s with a software update. Suncast, go into the story.
Yeah, so the company announced that on December 19th, they're going to issue an update that will effectively brick all remaining Note 7 devices that are out there. Just to put that into perspective, though, Samsung says that about 93% of all Note 7s have been returned so far. So there's only maybe about 7% of Note 7 devices still active.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all the
And-
tech YouTubers.
It's what?
Most
It's
likely.
all the tech YouTubers. Literally,
Yeah.
all the people that I follow on Twitter are like, "You can't brick my phone. Mine's perfectly fine, and I've stress tested."
Yeah, okay.
So, on December 19th, Samsung is going to release this update that will effectively brick all remaining Note 7 devices, except for one carrier says Nope, not so fast. Verizon is the only carrier that says that they are not going to push this update to their customers.
If I had a
They
reggae
cite
horn
that-
on me right now, I would have hit it. Wah, 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 wah.
It's funny though, because they say that we will not push a software upgrade that will eliminate the ability for the Note 7 to work as a mobile device in the heart of the holiday travel season.
Oh, very interesting. You know what? Very smart move by them, actually. I applaud.
Wait, but wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're weighing two safety factors here. You have
Traveling.
the safety of holiday travelers versus the safety of the device.
I think they see it as a liability where if you are not aware, because I have to tell you, I know someone with a Note 7, and they are not very technical at all. They had no idea that there was a problem with this phone at all. I mean, I was astonished.
How can you not?
Because they don't follow anything. They just
Do they live in a freaking bubble?
Essentially, yeah, they do. They're retired, and they bought this thing because it's a big phone, and they need to see the font, apparently. That's what they told me. And they had no idea that there was a major recall until I told them that there's a major recall with this. They were astonished.
So here's a question. Legally, let's just say that, you know, they send out the update that bricks the phones. Verizon is a jerk, and they're like, no, we're not going to push the update.
And a cash on
And
fire.
somebody on Verizon's network has their face melt. Does that fall back on Verizon?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a very good
I
question.
think it would.
That's a very good question. I'll probably ask one of my lawyer friends, most likely Mike Phillips.
I'll ask one of my lawyer friends.
I'll ask Mike.
That's what you sound like.
I will ask one of my lawyer friends. You know what? I should ask him about you also. What I could do with you. Just standing me up. I was sitting there drinking alone, waiting for the phone call, like I was on a date with you. Every guy, it was like a mystery date. I had no idea what you
Well,
looked like, and
You know
every
what that means, Andrew?
what?
That means that I'm going to have to come to New York just to see you,
Yeah, I
and
think you
not
do.
for any other people.
That's fine.
Just you.
I thought that's why you were coming anyway.
So I get to sleep in your bed.
Of course, we could snuggle.
Perfect.
I'm a very
On a
good big
Casper
spoon.
mattress.
On a Casper mattress, by the way. Guys, go to Casper.com/Andrew. I'm losing my voice, by the way, because I was at a wrestling show on Saturday, and
Degenerate.
I was so drunk, and I was with Coco. He did not drink because he's having a procedure done on Wednesday.
Coco's
And-
still alive?
Coco's alive, and I got so
He's finally going to do something about that face.
yeah, he's getting his face transplant finally. I got so drunk at this event. I bought myself a 12-pack of Corona at the event.
Oh, my God.
They're $35 for a 6-pack, okay? I bought a 12-pack of Corona. The guy handed me a bunch of limes. I sat there, and I just drank all of them. So and I'm screaming at these guys like it's real. So it was the best thing ever. So I'm losing
I'm
my voice
confused
here.
at this point, though. Is this Tech News Weekly or the free for all?
I'm going into something.
It's a segue, John.
Jesus, it's a segue. So here's the thing, and I would like to ask a lawyer about this because now that
I think about it, that story had nothing to do with anything.
it has nothing to do with anything. I have no idea how I got to it. If something were to happen now, Verizon is fully aware that these phones are essentially catching on fire. Something were to happen.
They're little time bombs.
Is Verizon responsible? Or how about this one? You're driving down the highway, you get into a car crash, you go to make a phone call, and guess what? Your phone doesn't work. Is Verizon's job to provide you with a service or keep you safe from manufacturer flaws? I think it's to keep the service.
Well, okay. Well, let's look at it with that little scenario. It's not on Verizon. It's not Verizon's fault if
It catches on fire.
you get in a car crash and you can't call 911.
No, it
Verizon's fault
is.
if
Well,
your face
possibly.
melts.
Wait a minute. The argument here is they might be responsible if you cannot call 911 because even phones that are not activated, even phones that have no service, has the ability to dial 911.
Yeah, but that falls on Samsung for bricking it.
That falls. I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if there's any telecommunications laws stating this. I don't know if they have found, if their lawyers. Listen, Verizon isn't stupid. They have hundreds of high-paid attorneys to look into this, and they most likely said, I don't think it's a smart idea for you to brick this because they probably found some sort of weird telecom law that could be a little gray.
So,
I don't know that they would go
realistically-
that far.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, this, in my opinion, puts the onus on Verizon at that point.
Yeah.
Because Samsung can do this. However, they can't control whether or not Verizon delivers the update or not. From Samsung's perspective, they've done everything they can to get people to return these phones.
Yeah.
So if something were to happen, in my opinion, it would be the fault of Verizon at that point.
If it were to explode,
Okay.
you're saying.
Yes.
Here's something that we're not taking into like thought here. The people also had a responsibility. Like the people with the phone, they were told that it's
yes.
that it's going to catch on fire.
Oh,
They were
come
told
on,
to
John.
turn
It's
it
never the
in.
person's fault. It's everybody else.
But it's a choice they
You're
made. They
blaming
were
a
like, I'm going
victim.
to keep this phone.
Listen, if
How
I know
dare you?
if I know that this phone here is going to explode, if there's a probability that it will, I most likely will not use it. I will say I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to set my house on
and
fire.
you have a kid, and like there's.
Well, I'll give you. Here's a
there's
great
so many
example.
different
Okay,
factors.
I have Christmas lights in front of my house. It started snowing, so you know what I did? I disconnected the outdoor lights because I don't even want to have a fraction of a percentage of a chance of something going wrong with the electric. You know, who knows? I don't know what could happen.
Grinch.
So I turned it off.
Yeah, he doesn't want his house to burn down.
Bah, humbug.
That
Where's
must
the
mean he
holiday
needs Christmas.
spirit?
Oh, I've lost that a long time. You know where the holiday spirit is? Not in my bank account. That's where it's not. This is very
Are
interesting.
you telling me
So
I'm not getting a gift this year?
Oh, you're getting a gift, all right. Oh, he's getting a gift.
He walked
A
out.
gift that's constant. That's going to keep on giving. So
I
I
guess
guess
it's
you're
just
a
you
gift.
and me.
Yeah, you're a gift on its own. So I don't need a gift from you. I have to see. that
I'm
beautiful
sending
face
you a
every day.
gift.
Oh God, please don't make it like the last one. So this is interesting. You know, Verizon isn't going to break the phones. I'm curious as to what they will do to get these phones back. So we'll see what happens there. To continue with the
They want to
Samsung,
keep collecting.
yeah, I guess so. To continue with the Samsung story, I love this one because I will most likely get it. Samsung's Galaxy S8 might have a true edge-to-edge display with no headphone jack. This
But I
is
hope you
according to
don't drop
Bloomberg
that.
sources. This is according to Bloomberg sources that the Galaxy S8 will include a new all-screen design and will not have a physical home button, with Samsung choosing to embed it under the display instead. Previous reports suggested that Samsung will ditch the headphone jack as well, relying on a USB Type-C port for sound.
You know what's funny about this?
Yeah, go ahead. I know
These
you've covered
are
a lot of it.
literally word for word the iPhone 8 rumors.
Isn't that amazing?
So, like, well, remember when there was just a rumor? It was only rumor at the time that Apple was going to remove the headphone jack. And then suddenly you have other manufacturers being like, we did it first, just based off of a rumor.
I mean, John,
So it would be so hilarious
show you
if
this.
Samsung just hearing rumors from Apple and being like, okay, yep, we're doing that.
I mean, that headphone jack just makes it way too thick. This phone is way too thick.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like we're in
Yeah.
2016. Phones shouldn't be that thick.
Yeah. You know, this is an S7, and I
Wait,
absolutely...
is that an S7 Edge?
This is an S7 Edge. Edge to edge, okay. I have to tell you, I had the S6 prior to this, not the Edge. I don't know if I would buy another Edge. For one reason, and one reason alone. The phone, because it's edged, when they initially released it, and it's still, I found it difficult to find a true glass screen protector.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why you need it is because there's no case that I have seen that isn't hideously bulky that will protect the corners.
Well, okay, so if that phone were to drop perfectly on its side, I'm pretty sure the screen is fine, right? Because they have like the hardware of the phone actually like comes out a little bit further than the screen.
Yes, the hardware of the phone. So if I could hold it here, I don't know if you
But
see
I
it,
guess
right?
with
But
this
if you
rumor,
were to
it's
drop it
different.
here,
It would be edge to edge.
so what I did, I dropped it here. I don't know if you can see the crack. Let's see. You guys, is it going to autofocus? Can you see that crack? Right on the
No.
bottom.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So right there.
Yes.
That I dropped that like 3 days into having my phone, and there was no
You haven't
chance in
gotten
hell.
it fixed?
No, because they want $250. Insurance wants $250 to fix it. So I
But
said,
you'll spend $35 on a pack of beer at a wrestling event.
yes, I will. Yes. Different. No, but because first of all, I think I'm not going to spend $250 on a phone just to fix a screen. It works perfectly fine. I don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore. I've given up on everything. My kid has taken this thing and thrown it across the room. I have another crack down the center of it.
Today.
I don't care. But here's the cool thing. This phone is going to look absolutely beautiful, and this is really where we're going with these edge-to-edge displays with the trend in 2017, in my opinion. But do we need to eliminate the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack? Suncast?
No.
I don't know. At this point, there's cases to be made on both sides. To be honest, I think part of it is that the transition between removing that headphone jack is the fact that we aren't really ready for devices that don't have a headphone jack. I think that's where we're at right now. Is that we're in that in between stage where technology is moving that direction, but manufacturers of accessories haven't moved there fast enough.
Right, and it wasn't even a universal decision. It was just Apple saying that they're going to do it, and then everyone freaked out, and now everyone has to do it just because Apple made the decision.
Isn't that amazing? So, I mean, that's the most amazing part to me. You know, there are arguments to be made on why the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack is this old way of doing it, but it's a standard. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. I highly doubt you're going to get better quality from these headphones, these USB Type-C headphones compared to what you're getting with your 3.5 millimeter headphone.
Well, honestly, the people that would care, the people that are most affected by this are average consumers. They're the people that probably don't have a Bluetooth headset ready, or they haven't made those accommodations for the lack of a headphone jack. And those people are not going to be able to tell the difference between that analog jack and plugging something in via Lightning or anything else. They're not going to be able to tell the difference.
No. I think the confusion is going to lie in when you, let's say, for example, have a headphone that you want to plug in, and then you look and like, what do I put this thing in?
If you want to have the headphones plugged in at the same time as you're charging your device.
And
that's still something that, to overcome that, well, now you have to have this little adapter or dongle with you at all times.
Connected to your headphone, yeah.
So no joke, this is real life. On my plane going to New York City just a few days ago, I watched a guy who was sitting in the aisle across from me. He picked up his iPhone. He reached in his bag, took these Sony earbuds out, unwrapped them because they're all tangled, and then went like this, went to plug it in, went, oh, and just looked straight ahead in defeat.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I have an issue with. I was not as upset with Apple with the headphone issue because I don't use an iPhone, so it doesn't impact me on a day-to-day basis. But I understand the argument, and people keep saying, well, like one Suncast said, how can I plug my phone in and charge and listen to music? And a lot of people's response was, well, that's a very, very small group of people that do that. Here's the other thing, and I agree with them, but here's where it's not a small group of people that do this. When I commute, right? I go into Manhattan 2 days a week. I do some consulting work. Almost every single time I'm traveling, I have my headphone jack plugged in, and I have my charger plugged into a backup battery to make sure my phone is charged throughout the entire day. That is where this is a major, major problem.
Honestly, it's not. It can't be the percentage of people that do that. It's not that small.
I don't think it. No, it's not that small at all. And most of the people that are complaining about this are most likely not people that commute.
So now you have to buy a $30 adapter so you can plug two things in.
Fine. Okay, that's an option. But they at least provided you with a converter, right? They at least provided you with a converter. My big issue with Apple this year has been how they screwed up this MacBook Pro. They removed USB, but did not provide people with a USB to USB Type-C converter. That is, and on top of that, and a lot of people don't even know this, Apple removed the power cord extender from this pack, and they're charging you $20 now for this thing.
Well, just think about it this way: you cannot plug your iPhone into the MacBook Pro.
You cannot. No dongle.
What
dongle would that be?
You'd have to go. You'd have to get
excuse me,
USB, like 2 or 3.0 to USB Type C.
Excuse me, Apple. Which dongle do I have to buy to plug my goddamn iPhone into my MacBook? Which effing...
Well, this is like...
But
so
see, this
yesterday
is
I
all
put out
good
a tweet
stuff
because
to-
every year
Go ahead.
for
Yeah.
Front Page Tech, we do an episode of the worst in tech for that
Which,
year.
by the way, we're going to cover
So I
all this next
tweeted-
week.
I tweeted
Yeah,
last
I mean
year-
that's what I'm saying. This is a prime example of
I know.
stuff that we need to talk about next
but,
week.
But this kind of
Because
goes
this is
hand in
just
hand here
ridiculous.
because, this is going to be a trend that we're going to see. Samsung is going to follow into the Apple world where you're going to have an adapter for your headphone jack. This is what we're going to see in 2017. This is, seeing into the future a little bit here. John,
I just
next
I
week
sent
you
out
have
that
to be
tweet
on, by
last
the
night
way.
That said what was the worst in tech this year, and it was shocking how many people said like the iPhone 7 or the new MacBook. Like that is so telling right
Yeah.
now.
Can I be honest, by the way?
Yeah.
I've tested the iPhone 7 Plus a couple times for the camera, and I'm not terribly impressed. Like,
You know what's funny?
In my honest opinion,
I just spoke to
it's-
someone.
it's-
I just
Yeah.
spoke to a photographer that would agree with you 100%. Did you try the
Portrait
the
portrait
HDR mode.
No, portrait.
Yeah, not impressed.
Yeah.
In my honest
I just
opinion,
got
I can
the,
take better photos on my iPhone 5 than I can with the iPhone 7 Plus.
Interesting.
Remember how I said?
listen, by the way,
Samsung's going
before
with just
hold on,
rumors of
John.
the iPhone.
Hold on, John. Before I get the stupid YouTube comments saying, "Well, Suncast, you're an idiot because iPhone 7 is obviously better." I know what you mean. It is a better camera. What he means is he's not impressed as he should be. 2 generations
based
later.
on the promises that Apple
Based on the
makes.
promises Apple made. Let me just.
Yeah, I mean
clear that up.
there's certain processing in of the JPEG that in some ways it does look better than what you would see in an older iPhone, but in some ways, it does not look as good as you would think.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I just bought because on Black Friday the Honor 8 was on sale. This is a prime example of a phone that was made
Okay,
based off of rumors.
do me a
This
favor.
came out months
Tell me-
before the iPhone 7.
Tell me what it
looks
is for
just
people who
like
don't
it.
know. Tell me what that phone is.
This is the Honor 8. It's made by Huawei, but it has the dual camera system on the back.
Okay.
I don't know if you can even see that.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's seriously made just from the rumors of the iPhone 7. It looks just like it came out months before it. And the dual camera system on the back works great. But then again, I feel like everyone's expectations have to be leveled. Because when Apple starts saying stuff like, this is like DSLR quality, and then everyone's like, oh my God, it is. And they start throwing away their cameras, and this phone is the next big thing. And it's just, meh. It's always going to be meh.
Here's the thing about these camera phones. I have a photo that I took, and I'll show it in a little bit, with my S7 over the weekend. Did you see that photo I did, John, of the glass of wine?
Yes.
yeah,
Twitter?
yeah.
Wasn't that a great photo?
It was good.
Yeah. So my phone has Pro mode. Almost everybody asked me, "Did you take that with an iPhone?" And I said, "No, I took it on my phone. I have Pro mode." He goes, "Do I have that on the iPhone?" And you don't have
Nope.
Pro mode. No. Very interesting that you don't on Apple, because this is the Apple mentality where we know better. Let us do this for you. There are certain limitations with these phones, with the cameras, with the battery life. I think we are starting to see that these limitations has come forward, and we're realizing that. Listen, it's an all-in-one. It's not the best for anything. It just works the best for an all-in-one, essentially.
Right.
You're not going to get, if you want the best camera and the best screen and the best battery life, you're not going to get it from one phone.
Right.
That's how we go. All right, John, Suncast. Go to the next
Yes.
story. I always default to you for T-Mobile stories. I don't know. Oh, you have the photo?
No,
Oh, no,
that's
you sent me
something else.
Okay, never mind. I won't look at that now. Do me a favor.
Hey, fun fact.
Yeah.
If you search just T-Mobile on YouTube, I come up more than T-Mobile comes
You know how many
up.
times you've told me that?
How about
Yeah,
you go
Mr.
screw
Big
yourself,
Shot.
Andrew?
Suncast. Why do I default to you for T-Mobile? I don't know why.
I don't know. I mean, this is a really interesting story,
I'm glad
though.
we're such good friends around here. We just have a ton of fun.
We do. All right, go
So
ahead.
T-Mobile basically had another Un-carrier event where they announced their new Digits program. It's a beta program right now, and it lets you add multiple numbers to your phone and then use them across all of your devices. This is whether it's, an iPad, your iPhone, your PC, a tablet, or whatever device you have. This new program or application that T-Mobile has with T-Mobile Digits will let you use your phone, whether it's making phone calls, text messages, voicemails, through an application on any device that you want. This is very interesting.
Okay, so essentially, if I have, if let's say I have my MacBook, I could send my text messages and make my phone calls through my Mac?
Yep.
Yeah, when you sign up with your phone number, or when you sign in with your phone number to the application, you'll find your call history, messages, voicemail, and other information for your phone waiting for you on whichever device that you're logged in with. So this is pretty cool, and it works with virtually any internet-connected device.
So here's what's
And
interesting.
this is even more impressive in the fact that this actually works with any phone number. So let's say you have another phone with AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint. You could actually sign up your phone number and use it with T-Mobile Digits if you have AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint.
So do they have an app on the Mac right now?
This is just in beta right now, as far as I know. So
Right.
we don't
And
know a whole lot about what's going on.
Browser based, like at the beginning.
It's going to be browser based. See, I don't want that.
You basically go to the website and sign in.
Okay, so
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, this
that's
is
still better
basically
than
Google
nothing.
Voice. This is very reminiscent of what you get with Google Voice, and
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool that they're going to have an application like this where basically it's no longer, phone is no longer something that's tied to an actual phone device. Now your phone can be any device that you have, whether it's a tablet, your PC, what have you. And this is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, this is
right
really
now
cool.
it is just in beta, and they do plan on rolling this out commercially, but they don't have any, information what you have yet for a price.
Yeah, this is very cool. See, I use something called Verizon Message Plus on my Mac. And it's their messaging service. It's their app for text messages, and you only do text messages. And I have to tell you, it sucks. It's absolutely terrible. It has this weird image problem on the Mac where certain text messages disappear, and you got to pull the screen back and forth to kind of get them to reappear. It's so weird. But I would love something like this where I could do everything in one device, in one platform.
Well, it's cool because the examples they used were if you forget your phone at home or just whatever the case might be, whatever device you're using at the time, whatever's more convenient for you, you can use, which is really cool.
By the way,
And it works with multiple lines.
Right. Yeah, it works with multiple lines. So you could have your burner, the phone that you use for your drug dealer, the phone that you use for cheating on your spouse, all of it in one little layout. Perfect. By the way, this is the image I was talking about that I took with my phone. Very proud of my photo. I just want to show it off.
That's a really good photo.
It is a very good photo. It's called...
Did you take that on the day that I...
Yeah, that's the day when I was sitting there
Skip
waiting
our
for
date?
you jerk. I call this photo Life. I've named it Life.
What I call this what could have been.
I call this Stood Up. John, that jerk, by Andrew Zarian. John is a big fat jerk. He's an idiot jerk. Idiot jerk. Thank you. That's my
a great
hype.
poem.
JPEG.
Thank you. JPEG. .pinkfloyd.avi. John, listen, Suncast, I think this is a great service. It's amazing. I really like T-Mobile for the fact that they're so aggressive with adding technology to your phone and making it, being not a dumb provider of service. They're constantly rethinking ways, and they have to because they're, what are they, number 3, 4?
I think they're actually, they're number 2 and number 3, I think.
Are they? No.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
2? Behind who? AT&T's number 2 or Verizon's number 2? I don't know which one at this point.
Verizon's
They're
number
close.
1, AT&T, then T-Mobile.
Okay. Very, very, very happy with this. If I could open up my notes. Here we go. Amazon Go, boys and girls. This is a really fascinating...
This is awesome.
For who? Of course you would say it's awesome. You don't want people to have
Shoplifters.
jobs. Amazon Go is a grocery store with no checkout lines. It uses computer vision a whole bunch of sensors and deep learning to let you walk into a store, sign in with the Amazon Go app, and fill up your bag and leave without stopping at a checkout line. Now, I can't wait till people hack this thing and they're just going, they're having a free-for-all shopping. Now, I don't think this is bad. This is obviously, for now, the Amazon Go store is only open to the to companies' employees. So here's two scenarios. One, this is going to be a store, right? A physical store.
Yep, it's
Okay.
in Seattle, but they
Seattle.
have plans of opening like 2,600 of them.
Yes. This is fine. But the other
This
story
is
that
fine.
the other story that I had read was they may be leasing this out to other businesses. So if you're a business that is opening up, not necessarily small business, maybe some small businesses, maybe some bigger businesses, they are going to lease this technology out to you, where you no longer have to have any employees at the checkout line.
Why not?
Jobs? Now, what do you think of this, Suncast? I want to go to you first, and then I'll go to John Prosser, because John Prosser is very excited over this. By the way, I think this is great.
I don't see the excitement over this. I really don't, because there's so much technology
wrong with
tracking
you?
you inside the store. Yes, I know that technically if you're using one of those rewards things that they track, everything they buy, and they can send you coupons
Sure.
based on what you
You
buy.
just don't want to be
stuff.
tracked.
But for to track every single move that you're making, it's going to look at every single thing that you're looking at in the store. If you pick it up, it's going to know that you picked it up and looked at it.
Yes.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Okay, go ahead, John Prosser. Tell me why.
This is
Tell
awesome.
me why
No!
there ain't nothing but... Okay, go ahead.
I hate lines. I hate checkout counters. Self-checkout is the greatest thing, and even then you got to wait in line.
even then
this
you
is
gotta
just-
wait in line.
This is like your shoplifting dreams come true. You just walk in, you take what you want, you leave. Whatever. And if you use Amazon all the time, they're doing that anyway. They know what you're looking at.
They do.
And that's even better, because then they can recommend products to you and give you deals based off of stuff they already know you like. I don't
Yeah.
care if they're tracking me. This is the
It's a
future.
little too big brother for me.
Yeah, here's the thing. I really don't give a... I'm just going to curse. I really... To me, I think this is just making it even more convenient, and these brick and mortar businesses, they're hemorrhaging money at this point because, it's expensive and they're paying... I'm moving my beer out of the shot. I don't want to give them a plug. I think this is just the future of technology and where we're headed, but it is a scary idea that we are all going to be replaced by a machine one day.
Except people like us,
Well, except
because
us.
we know where the future's going.
And that's a long-formed content on the internet. I'm dying away like the dinosaur. John Prosser, you may know where you're going. I'm going away. My kind of content, this kind of content is out the window in the next 5 years. I got to
Andrew,
reinvent
it's not
myself.
going away.
I want to be a cool 40-year-old. That's going to be the thing. I want to be the 40-year-old YouTuber that's like really cool with all the teenage trends like lipstick and eye makeup.
You're close. You're wearing flannel,
Is this in?
and you wear all the wrestling stuff.
The wrestling stuff is in. Is this flannel in?
Yeah,
This shirt is about 15 years old.
it looks
You,
like
you
it.
guys do know what the latest eyeliner trend is, right?
I do, of course I do. It's all about
Okay.
the
Latest
and
eyeliner-
also,
oh,
by the way,
penis thing?
guys and girls, it's all about contouring your makeup. Can I just tell you guys? A lot of women out there, they make the mistake. They put on their foundation, they do not contour. You want to look good? You want to look skinny? Contour your makeup, please. Go back, John Prosser. Please continue with this.
I think it's great. Like this is the future.
Yeah.
And if they lease the technology out to other businesses to make it easier for them, cool, whatever. Like there's always going to be jobs. There's going to be jobs in other places. Just because you can't ring out some people at a register, that's whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? There's other things that you can do.
You're right. I do think this is interesting. I'm curious to see if this actually becomes a thing. Amazon has some amazing things, but I don't know if this is a reality to open up 20 stores within the next year or two with this. And what are they going to be selling? They're just a grocery store now?
Well, yeah. So essentially, it's just like they'll be able to tell, like in that area, the top 10% of what usually sells the best, and they'll sell it in those stores in that area.
Okay, interesting. I I'm curious to see how this rolls out. The idea with this. Suncast, go into the next story because I just closed out my notes by mistake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
So this is kind of interesting. According to
Speaking of taking
Bloomberg,
jobs,
would you let me finish?
go ahead.
This is the last time we're having you on the show.
Thank you. See?
Period.
Thank you.
I figured.
What an a-hole.
Thank you. He is. He stood me up. Go ahead.
According to Bloomberg, Apple is in talks with major movie studios to offer early rentals on iTunes.
Interesting.
The report, which cites sources familiar with the ongoing discussion, suggests that 21st Century Fox, Universal Pictures, and Warner Brothers are trying to find a partner to help them rent films as early as 2 weeks after they first hit theaters.
Oh, that's great.
So this is kind of cool. They don't know that whether or not these studios will actually go with iTunes, but they are in talks with iTunes to see if this is something that would work with them or if they want to go with another platform, because iTunes isn't the only platform out there. If you remember, there actually is a similar idea out there from Napster founders Sean Parker, which they came up with the idea of the screening room, which aims to rent movies the same day as they come out in theaters for $50 per viewing.
Is it still going?
I forgot about that.
Does the company still exist?
As far as I know.
I don't know. The screening room? Is it like a thing?
It's just something that it hasn't launched yet.
Oh, it hasn't launched yet. Okay.
As far as I know, they're still in talks with studios to figure out how to do all this stuff. But according to the founder of the Screen Room, Sean Parker, which was famous for Napster, they have a more secure anti-piracy environment for these movies than what iTunes could provide.
So here's the thing. I would love this if you have been listening to GFQ for the last, 8 years. Jesus Christ. I have said many, many times that I absolutely hate movie theaters. I find the whole thing very cringy. I don't want to be in a dark room with a bunch of people watching a movie where I can't even take out my phone if I want to. I like
Plus
to
they're all
watch films.
gross.
It's all, you know what? There's so much feces on those seats. Oprah Winfrey told me when I was a kid. So
Am I going to believe that hack?
I do believe her. She had a scientist on there, John, a TV scientist. So
Wow.
yeah, I do believe her. So
She made a man a doctor that is not actually a doctor, so I think we should
Dr.
trust her.
Phil, also Phil Donahue. First of all, I don't like Oprah for essentially getting Phil Donahue canned from TVs, but that's a whole different story. I don't like movie theaters. I don't like to go. But my wife likes to watch the latest movie that's out there. Verizon Fios, actually, for a while, I don't think they're doing this anymore, had you could order a movie on demand while it was in the theater. It was like $79 to do it.
So worth it.
And you know what? It would have been. But I don't feel like, $79 is a lot of money. $50 on the other hand, $25 a piece, you're going to spend that when you go into the movies anyway. Forget it. If I go to the movies right now with my wife, I'm going to spend about $50 with the popcorn and all the nonsense. So,
Right.
And I'm not in my living room. So I have no problem, personally, paying $50 to watch a movie and if I really want to see this movie in my living room.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'll tell you something. I will most likely be more inclined to buy this 4K HDR TV with nice surround sound speakers if I know I could get that movie experience in my living room.
This is something that I think is inevitable. This is something that will eventually happen one day. When? I don't know. But this is something that we deliver TV shows all the time over the internet and stream them and everything. It's inevitable that first-run movies will be available in the same manner someday.
Obviously, I think the smart thing and the Motion Picture Association of America most likely would want to do this a couple weeks after the movie has been released. To generate
I would be
more
fine
business.
with that.
And I would be perfectly fine with that. Do we know what the turnaround for movies is now from point of release to Blu-ray?
It really depends on the studio and the success of the film.
But is there like a general thing that they follow? John Prosser, do you know if there is?
Asking John Prosser. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Maybe I would say maybe 4
then
or
why
5
are you
months.
here? Get off.
So here's a little trick on what I just did, boys and girls, in broadcasting. I went to John Prosser knowing he wouldn't know the answer. So I can look up the answer and look really smart when I say, normally they go anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
I just said 4 to 5, so suck it.
Okay, you were close. But that was a stupid guess, John Prosser. And you know what? You lose a point right there. Suncast, I know you're a big movie person, so you would find this really cool, right? Having the
I'd
option.
be interested. I don't know if
Having the
I
option.
would do this all the time, but
But
it's
the
cool.
fact that you have the option to do this is great.
yeah, especially
mother-
for movies that are so popular that you just don't want to sit in a crowded theater,
Also,
such as Star Wars.
such as Star Wars. But
Oh,
think
God.
about how this will cut back on piracy. There are people
Yeah.
that don't want to go to a movie theater that will find a pirated copy, like a BS copy, download it, watch it, and that was it. Now
Okay,
they have the
but,
option to pay. And we saw what happened with music. Pirating music has dropped from the studies that I have seen
Yeah,
since
it's not
iTunes and
not that
Spotify and
people,
these
like-
services.
And I really wish studios would see that. Like, they just think, oh, if we make it this easy for them to watch it, then they're just going to pirate it more.
Not
No,
true.
part of why we pirate things is to make things more convenient. And if you do that for us and make things more convenient, then there's instantly less piracy.
I personally have
Right.
never pirated anything.
I'm sure you haven't.
I have never.
You flannel wearing liar.
I have never downloaded a copy of Microsoft Office 97 in an AOL chat room called Servers and Wares with a Z. I've never done that in my life. So
I'm sure.
just letting everybody know. I think this is great. I think this is a very progressive way of looking at content and the way that we get media. I've been doing this long-term study on cutting the cord. If you watch any of my other shows and this one too, and I recently got DirecTV Now, and I have to tell
How
you,
do you
this
like
That's
is,
okay. You can say we.
well, we did, because John is using it too. Suncast is using it too, and so I got DirecTV Now, and I have to tell you, this is the closest to cable that I have seen from these live content providers. Like the Sling TV and the Sony View, the PlayStation View. This is the closest to.
and that sort of
really
makes
high
sense,
quality
right?
content.
Like, they would be the people to pull it off.
You know what's interesting? Dish Network is behind,
Sling TV.
and they totally dropped the ball. The application is terrible. The quality is terrible. It doesn't work right. I haven't had too many issues with DirecTV Now. I did have some issues yesterday, and I kind of attribute that to the fact that there were football games happening. That was the first time that I had any kind of issue or stutter or lag with the content. But for the most part, for $30 a month, you could cut your entire cable bill down. And that's again, this is convenience. This is appealing to a whole new generation that doesn't want to do 2-year contracts for service providers.
Right.
This is how you get them to pay for cable without actually paying for cable. If you think about it, the millennials are the generation that's not buying homes. They're renting. They're renting apartments. And what are you going to do? You're going to strap a satellite to the side of your house? No, side of your apartment? No, you're going to most likely get cable, whatever the building has, or you're not going to get anything. So this is really the future with this stuff. And I think, having the ability to buy a movie, $50, $60, whatever it is, and watch it at your own convenience and pause it and take a phone call if you need to, is where we're headed.
Right.
John Prosser. Anything to add?
Kazarian.
Anything to add here?
No,
Oh.
I think you nailed it.
Suncast,
Like,
anything to add
I
here?
think that, like I said, I think that it makes total sense that they pulled it off correctly. And props to AT&T for not trying to lag behind and try to convince people to stick with cable, and they just realize where we're headed, and they're just going to adapt to it, and that's why they're going to be successful.
Or you have idiots like me that's currently still paying for cable and has DirecTV Now. So I just added $30 to my monthly TV bill.
Well, you got to ease your way out of it.
I got to, yeah. It's slow. It's like coming off of drugs. You can't just stop it.
Yeah, pretty much
Right.
the same thing.
Pretty much exactly the same thing. Suncast, how are you today? Good? Good.
Yeah.
All right, time to wrap it up. Is that it? We're done, right?
Yes, we're done.
Suncast, you have been doing Gonna Geek a lot. Want to give
Yeah.
it a little plug?
I think he's leaving GFQ.
Oh, he
I
will
think
never
he's
leave me.
transitioning.
I'm
going
to tell you something about Suncast. He's a jerk at times, He's rude at times. You may not like him, but there's nobody as loyal as him. And I appreciate that. He's a very loyal boy. If you're nice to Suncast, he's nice to you.
He wouldn't stand you up.
He would never stand you up and make you wait hours. You know what? He would be there 10 minutes early just to make sure he is there and wait in his car until he saw you walking into the place, give you 2-3 minutes to settle in, and then come. Okay? That's the type of person he is. Not like John Prosser of Front Page Tech for people that want to do business with him.
You don't.
John, when are you back in New York?
Say what?
When are you back in New York?
You're breaking up.
When are you back in New York?
Am I back in New York?
When?
I don't know. Could be a month.
Very cool. Suncast, Gonna Geek. You make your appearances there. People can follow you on Twitter at Suncast. You manage the ship here on GFQ. If you are looking to hire someone that will edit video for you, produce video for you, edit audio for you.
Wait, did he ask you to do this, or are you just volunteering?
I'm just volunteering him at this point. You could contact him at Suncast on Twitter. I don't pay him anything.
I have to supplement my income.
You know what? We are a one-income household here. Suncast and I are one income household. You could hire him. Contact me. I could give you all the information. You could follow him on Twitter and contact him there. He does unbelievable work. Everything you see here at the GFQ Network, he does it quick, posts it. He does a lot of freelance stuff. He's working on a couple of projects right now that I don't want to mention because I don't know if they want to know that they have hired him. But he does a lot of work, and he's excellent in so many ways. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zeri. Next week is our end of year show. We're going to be going down the list of the best of 2016 and the worst of 2016. I have to tell you,
to come for that one?
2016 was horrible except for the amazing birth of my child. Yeah, you have to be here next week.
Okay, perfect.
That was probably one of the best things in my life that happened, but everything else kind of sucked this year. So we're going to go into everything that was terrible and everything that was great. Guys, please follow us. Go to our website, gfknetwork.com. You can subscribe to everything that we do there. We do everything from pro wrestling to hair loss to technology. Go to gfknetwork.com, subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.